What does it mean to be a monster? And why is Sendo still human? In chapter 1500, Takamura once again mentioned the monster theme by calling Sendo still human. This is not the first time he said this about someone. Before this, it was Ippo. Back when we heard about the line dividing humans from monsters, it was a shock. A completely new concept. Something that hasn't any direct connections to skills or techniques. So being skilled and talented isn't enough? There's another level? When Takamura drew the line in the grass, he said, "Past this line is the world. Don't cross it. Past that line, that's where only the real monsters can survive. Don't cross the line if you want to stay human." Let's unpack this by using Sendo as a recent example. This is someone who's extremely aggressive, punches hard, and is never afraid of a good brawl. Seems like a monster, no? But if Takamura still calls him human, those attributes aren't what makes someone a monster. Every boxer is tough, some more than others. Every boxer throws a jab, some better than others. As I've said, this is not about abilities, because Sendo has all the power in the world. Takamura said that anybody can theoretically become a world champion. As long as you stand in the ring with your fists clenched tight, your chance might come and your punch might land. This is 200 chapters ago. Even world champions can fall from a fluke punch that comes out of nowhere. As long as you never stop fighting for it, anybody can keep dreaming. By pure logic, we can deduct that Sendo theoretically was able to win. But Kamogawa chimes in and says that even with the power to take the world, other circumstances might mean you miss your chance. This is exactly what happened to Sendo with his grandmother falling ill. Kamogawa and Takamura are two conflicting schools of thought. Kamogawa is a realist and Takamura is a dreamer. A dreamer keeps dreaming no matter what happens outside of his dream. No matter what the outside world says, he keeps on dreaming. This is basically Takamura's whole persona. So, we can equate dreaming to being a monster. As a wise philosopher / pirate once said, people's dreams will never end. The problem with Sendo is that his dream was basically popped like bubblegum, and then he woke up. He let his world title aspiration, or shall I say dream, get dragged into the dirt by his own emotions. The funny thing is that almost 400 chapters ago he talked to his soon-to-be wife about exactly that. She asked whether his grandmother wasn't well. He said she's real old, so if her time was up, it wouldn't surprise anybody. And yet, he was surprised. Now you'll say, but King Kohi, how can you say this, man? It's only natural for a person to be sad about a family member's illness. And I'll say you are 100% right. It's not only natural, it's human. It's one thing to be sad about something, and another to let this thing change the way you behave. To keep on dreaming in a situation like this, you truly have to be a monster. This also explains Takamura's cold attitude towards Ippo back when he made his comeback after the Gonzalez loss. Yagi said Ippo will return to the ring with the new Dempsey roll. Everybody went nuts about this. Comeback plus a new Dempsey roll? Insane. But then Takamura straight up shut it down. He said, "Who gives a shit? This gym has me, and that's all it needs. You guys shouldn't get your hopes up. He'll just disappoint the coach all over again." Yagi countered with, "There's always hope." Takamura said, "In this case, I don't think so." Expecting anything from Ippo at this point, it's a bad idea. Ultimately, he ended up being right, because Ippo lost to Guevara. But why was he right? Why wasn't he impressed by the new Dempsey? Because he saw that Ippo had long lost his dream. Like the man himself says here, "I just did it because the coach asked me to. I went along with it because people expected me to. I was just curious if I could do it. Deep down I knew. Being the Japanese champion was enough. I had already done better than I expected. At least part of me felt that way." He didn't even expect to go as far as he did. It's like he caught himself while being in a flow state and then stumbled over his own feet. What are the two biggest mysteries in Hajime no Ippo? None other than Takamura and Ricardo. We know close to nothing about those two. You only see the goofy side and locked inside of Takamura. Ippo himself said that he knows nothing about his private life. The same goes for Ricardo. Apart from his dream of knowing what it means to be strong, we know nothing about him. Because he never talks about it. Just like Takamura. We don't know their fears or anxieties. And they do have those feelings, you can be sure about that. but they're irrelevant in the context of boxing. They're hiding them not only from the other characters but also from you, the reader. This is not to say that Sendo won't get up and lock in, but it would be bittersweet if he literally lost due to still being human. That would give Ippo the answer that Takamura never elaborated on. This would be the ultimate comeback for Ippo and his debut as a monster. Remembering Sendo getting knocked out cold due to emotions is the perfect trigger. He will be like, oh, that's what I was missing. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ricardo has lived through extremely tough times. We only saw a little panel of him meeting Bill as a kid. And since he was wearing a literal traveler's backpack like a camper, we can assume that he was homeless and possibly also an orphan. This is an extreme version of Sendo's childhood. He at least had his grandma taking care of him and a roof over his head. Ricardo has been raised in the gym. All he knows is fighting. He asked Bill even as a child, how does it feel to be strong? I hope the manga comes back to this later on, because I want to see what tough battles Ricardo had to fight as a kid in the streets. If you think Sendo knows how to brawl, just wait for Ricardo to release El Diablo, who was forged in the mean streets of Mexico City.